I mean, we have a lot of sisters raising children, and they broken.
Thank you.
And just terrible circumstances, and their situations are just heartbreaking. And as a child, you know, your mother might be, cursing at you and saying things that you don't necessarily like. And I was at that stage, But after I left Miami, I grew up in Miami. I moved back to Brooklyn. When I came to Brooklyn, I got older. I realized that my mother was a single woman, a black woman, raising three boys by herself. So she had every right to be upset.
And working 2 jobs.
Working 2 jobs. It's not an easy life. You put any human being in that situation.
Yes.
And they might just go a little crazy. So we have a lot of sisters out there who are just going through it. And they're broken. They're broken by society. They're broken by relationships with men. They're broken by, the societal consequences of being black, of being a woman. And they have all of these things working against them. So when they go home, all of that anger and frustration spills over to the closest people around them, her children.
The children.
And, growing up as a child, you just wonder, why is my mom upset? Why is she yelling at me? And the confusion grows to frustration, to outright anger. And unless you find a way to get out of the situation, then it's just going to turn into an anger that's one day is just going to blow up. And you got brothers and sisters, young brothers and sisters who are going through it at home with their parents, and they take their anger out, through gangs, gun violence, just craziness in school, and it's all because they have parents who are just broken and don't have a healthy way to channel that.
Thank you.
And growing up, for me, it meant leaving Miami. And, like I said earlier, you got brothers and sisters growing up who are just in the 10-block radius of the projects. They need exposure. They need to get out. They need to find ways to escape, even temporarily, out of their circumstances and situations. When I was in Brooklyn, I started, I was going to school in Brooklyn. I was miserable. I was miserable, and I don't mean to say that every school in Brooklyn is miserable. What I'm saying is I was stuck in the confines of my neighborhood. So until I left and I started going to school in Manhattan, I started going to school in Times Square. So seeing all these different cultures, all these different people, all these different businesses around, that opened my eyes to realize, hey, there's a whole world out here that's different from my world, and different from my pain, and different from my struggles. So that created in me, it sparked a desire to grow as a human being. And until we give people an incentive to grow, then they won't.
And to heal, because
and to heal.
We have to heal,
and to heal
first. I think that's the main problem with a lot of, because I do a lot of counseling and I do lectures and workshops. And it's not just us. When I did my lecture, it's all race.
Oh, it's a human problem.
And thank you.
It's
the pain and a lot of it, childhood, because the parents are not conscious of the damage that they are doing to their children, and because they wasn't taught. So this is what I would like to tell the parents. Seek out help. There's help out there like never before. They have books, teaches you how to channel energy, how to balance certain things that's going on so you don't have to go off and, curse out your child or hit your child. And the thing about it, children need love, nurturing, and that is lacking.
Amen.
most parents I heard, long as I got a roof over their head, some food, and some clothes, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
The time to bond, to nurture.
Yeah.
Most people don't know they child. I'm 61. My parents don't know who I am. They have no clue who I am at 61 years old. Because they never sat down to want to bond and, you know, be with me and study me and get involved with what I'm doing to learn. And this is what a lot of parents got to do. They got to bond. They got to get involved with what their children hobbies are. Find out what they love to do. We keep wanting to mold them into what we want them to do. And I find that to be a problem too.
Yeah.
So how was you able to forgive your mother? Are you still working on?
No, I mean, I think more so, it was more so me understanding.
Okay.
You know, I had to understand.
Her pain.
I had to understand her pain, understand what she was going through, understand her circumstances, and now our relationship is different. And, you know, you know, our relationship is different, and it, you know, so for the, you know, for the young brothers or the young sisters out there who, you know, going through something similar, you have to understand it's tough to be a parent.
Yes.
It's tough to be a parent.
But like your spoken word, there's hope.